January 25th, 1902, Volume 4. The fever of love makes the soul take flight toward heaven. Sweet reproach of Jesus. This morning, after I went through much hardship, my adorable Jesus came, and as soon as I saw him, I said to him, "My beloved good, I can bear no more. Take me with you to heaven once and for all, or remain forever with me on this earth." And he, "Let me observe a little bit where the fever of your love has reached. In fact, just as the natural fever, when it reaches a high degree, has the virtue of consuming the body and of making it die, in the same way the fever of love, if it reaches an extremely high degree, has the virtue of melting the body and of making the soul take flight even unto heaven." And while saying this, he took my heart in his hands as though to visit it, and he continued, "My daughter, the intensity of the fever of love has not reached that point. It takes a little more." Then he made the act of wanting to pour his bitternesses into me, but I did not say anything to him. And he, almost reproaching me, added sweetly, "Don't you know your duty, that the first thing you should do on seeing me is to check whether there is something in me that afflicts me and embitters me, and to pray me to pour it upon you? This is true love, to suffer the pains of the beloved, so as to be able to see the loved one fully content." Feeling ashamed, I said, "Lord, pour." And he poured and disappeared. January 25th, 1907, Volume 7, Chastisements. She sees cities deserted. I am going through most bitter days because of the almost continuous privations of blessed Jesus. At the most, he makes himself seen in passing and like a flash, and immediately he hides so very deep within my interior that I cannot even catch sight of him, and always in silence. So when I saw him, after much struggling, and he was all embittered and oppressed, I said to him, "But tell me at least, what is it that makes you suffer so much?" And he, unwilling, only to content me, told me, "Ah, my daughter, you do not know what must happen. If I told you, you would break my indignation, and I would not do what I have to do. This is why I keep silent. So calm yourself about the way I act with you in this period of time. But courage, it will be so very bitter for you. But do it as an athlete, as a generous one, always living, but as though dead, in my will, without even crying." Having said this, he hid deeper within my interior, leaving me as though petrified, without even being able to cry for his privation. Now, to obey, I write that even before the month of January, until now, I do nothing but find myself outside of myself. It may also be a dream, but I seem to see places in desolation, cities deserted, entire streets with the houses closed, with no one walking along them, and dead people. My fright at seeing these things is such as to render me as though dazed, and I would like to imitate my good Jesus by remaining, I too, taciturn and silent. Why this, I am unable to say, because my light Jesus does not tell me anything. I wrote this only to obey. Deo gratias. January 25th, 1919, Volume 12. The divine will is light, and one who lives in it becomes light. Jesus dwells in one who lives in the divine will, just as he did in his own humanity. After having spent most bitter days in privation of my sweet Jesus, of my life, of my all, My poor heart could not take any more. I was saying to myself, what a hard lot has been reserved for me. After so many promises, he left me. Where is his love now? Ah, who knows whether I myself have not been the cause of his abandonment, becoming unworthy of him? Ah, maybe it was that night when he wanted to speak about the troubles of the world, and began by saying that the heart of man is still bloodthirsty, and that the battles are not finished, because the thirst for blood is not yet extinguished in the human heart. And I said to him, Jesus, you always want to talk about these troubles. Let's leave them aside. Let's talk about something else. And afflicted, he remained silent. Ah, maybe he was offended. My Lord, my life, forgive me. I won't do it any more. But come. While I was saying this and other nonsense, I felt I was losing consciousness, and I saw my sweet Jesus inside of me, alone and taciturn, walking from one point to another within my interior, as if he would now stumble at one point, now bump into another. I was all confused and did not dare to tell him anything, but I thought, who knows how many sins there are in me that makes Jesus bump? But he looked at me all goodness, although he seemed tired and was dripping sweat, and he told me, my daughter, poor martyr, not of faith but of love, not human but divine martyr, because your most cruel martyrdom is my privation, which places on you the seal of divine martyr. Why do you fear and doubt about my love? And then how can I ever leave you? I dwell in you as though within my humanity. And just as I enclosed the entire world in my humanity, I enclose it in you. Did you not see that while I was walking, now I bumped, and now I stumbled? Those were the sins, the evil souls that I encountered. What pain for my heart! It is from within you that I decide the destiny of the world. It is your humanity that shelters me, just as mine sheltered my divinity. If my divinity did not have my humanity as shelter, the poor creatures would have had no escape, either in time or in eternity. And divine justice would no longer look at the creature as its own, deserving preservation, but as an enemy, deserving destruction. Now my humanity is glorious, and I need a humanity that may grieve, suffer, share the pains with me, love souls together with me, and place its life in order to save them. I chose you. Aren't you happy? Therefore I want to tell you everything, my pains, the chastisements that creatures deserve, so that you may take part in everything and be one with me. This is also why I want you in the height of my will, because wherever you cannot arrive with your own will, you will do it with mine, reaching all that befits the office of my humanity. Therefore, fear no longer. Do not afflict yourself with your pains, with fears that I may abandon you. I receive enough from other creatures. Do you want to increase my pains with yours? No, no, be sure your Jesus will not leave you. Then he came back again, showing himself crucified, transforming me in him and in his pains. And he added, my daughter, my will is light, and one who lives of it becomes light. And as light, she enters easily into my most pure light, having the key to open and take whatever she wants. But in order to be able to open, a key must be without rust or mud, and the lock itself must be of iron, otherwise the key cannot open. In the same way, to be able to open with the key of my will, the soul must not mix the rust of her own will, nor a shadow of the mud of earthly things. Only in this way can we combine ourselves together. She can make whatever she wants of me, and I whatever I want of her. After this I saw my mamma and a late confessor of mine. I wanted to tell them about my state, and they said to me, "In these days you have run the risk that the Lord would suspend you completely from your state of victim. And we, the whole of purgatory and heaven, have prayed very much." How much we did so that the Lord would not do that. From this you can comprehend how justice is still full of grave chastisements. Therefore be patient, and do not become tired. January 25th, 1922, Volume 13. Each truth contains within itself a distinct beatitude, happiness, joy, and beauty. What it means to have known on earth one more truth about the divine will, when the soul will be in heaven. As I was in my usual state, my always lovable Jesus on coming told me, "My daughter, the more truths I manifest to you, the greater variety of beatitudes I give to you as gift. Each truth contains within itself a distinct beatitude, happiness, joy, and beauty. Therefore every additional truth you know brings beatitude, happiness, joy, and beauty into yourself, with which you are enriched. These are divine seeds that the soul receives, and by manifesting them to others, she communicates these seeds and enriches whomever receives them. Now, since the truths that one has known on earth are divine seeds which sprout with beatitudes, joy, etc., when the soul is in her fatherland in heaven, they will be like electric wires of communication through which the divinity will unleash from its womb so many acts of beatitude for as many truths as one has known. Oh, how inundated the soul will be, as though by many different immense seas. She already has the seed, and by having the seed, she has space in which to receive these immense seas of happiness, of joy, and of beauty. One who does not have the seed, who has not known a truth while on earth, lacks the space to be able to receive these beatitudes. It happens as to a little one who did not want to study all the languages. As he grows up and hears these languages being spoken which he did not want to study, or which he was not given the opportunity of studying, he will understand nothing. In fact, by not wanting to study, his intelligence remains closed, and he made no effort to prepare a little space in order to comprehend those languages. At the most, he will be amazed, and will enjoy from someone else's happiness, but he will not possess it, nor will he be the cause of happiness for others. See, then, what it means to know one truth more, or one truth less. If all knew what great goods they miss, they would compete in order to acquire truths. Now the truths are the secretaries of my beatitudes, and if I do not manifest them to the souls, they do not break the secret which they contain. They swim within my divinity, waiting for their turn to act as divine agents and make me known. How many more beatitudes I contain! And the longer they have remained hidden in my womb, the more uproariously and majestically they come out to inundate the creatures and manifest my glory. Do you believe that all of heaven is aware of all my goods? No, no. Oh, how much remains for it to enjoy, which it does not enjoy today. Each creature who enters into heaven, having known one more truth, which was unknown to the others, will carry within herself the seed so as to have new contentments, new joys, and new beauty unleashed from me. And these souls will be their cause and font, while the others will take part in them. The last day will not come if I do not find souls who are disposed, so that I may reveal all my truths, so that the celestial Jerusalem may resound with my complete glory, and all the blessed may share in all of my beatitudes, some as direct cause for having known that truth, and some as indirect cause, through the one who has known it. Now, my daughter, in order to console you, and so that you may be more attentive in listening to my truths, I want to tell you which ones are the truths that glorify me the most. They are those which regard my will, since the primary reason for which I created man was that his will be one with his Creator. But man, having withdrawn from my will, rendered himself unworthy to know the values, the effects, and all the truths it contains. This is the reason for all my attentions with you, that between me and you our wills would run together and be always in perfect accord. In fact, so that the soul may open the doors and become disposed to know the truths that my will contains, the first thing is wanting to live of my will. The second is wanting to know it. The third is to appreciate it. Therefore, with you I opened the doors of my will, that you might know its secrets, which man had buried inside my womb, as well as its effects and the value it contains. And as many truths as you come to know about my will, so many seeds you receive, and so many divine secretaries form your cortege. Oh, how they make feast around you, having found one to whom to confide their secret. But the most beautiful feast they will make when they will bring you to heaven, when the divinity, at your very entrance, will unleash so many different beatitudes of joy, of happiness, and of beauty, all different among themselves, which will not only inundate you, but all the blessed will take part in them. Oh, how heaven awaits your coming to enjoy these new contentments. January 25th, 1927, Volume 20. Jesus pushes Luisa to write. One who lives in the divine will breathes the all. The soul who lives in it copies God within herself, and she is copied in God. Feeling suffering, I felt I was incapable of writing that which blessed Jesus manifested to his little daughter, so I remained quiet a few days without writing. In my interior, Jesus pushed me to do it, but I refused to do it because of the great weakness I felt. Finally, this morning, coming out from my interior, he said to me, "Tonight my daughter must write, because even if she may be dying, I want her to give the last flashes of light, strong and dazzling, of the knowledges about the supreme Fiat, so that all may know that my will has kept her always occupied for itself and for its kingdom. And her last breath will be nothing other than a strong flash of light, which will remain as the last proof of love and of manifestation for the kingdom of my will. Therefore, while you write, I will help you, and the little daughter of my will refuse nothing to her Jesus and to that Fiat which, with so much love, keeps you on its lap to entrust its secrets to you." So after this I made up my mind to write, even just a little, because my sweet Jesus is content with anything. And then my sweet Jesus said to me, "My daughter, one who lives in my divine will breathes the all, and since the breath is taken and is given, and one receives it to then give it back, with no time in between, one who breathes the all, which is God, in emitting her breath, gives the all which she has breathed. So she takes all, and she gives all. She gives the all to God, giving God to God, and she gives the all to the creatures, to then breathe God again and everything that God does. It is natural that one who takes all can give all. Only in the divine will is the life of the Supreme Being bilocated continuously on the part of creatures. and I. My Jesus, I feel I am doing nothing, and you tell me that in your fiat I take all and I give all? And Jesus added, My daughter, when the all operates, the nothing remains at its place. It only makes itself available to receive the all. And then do you not feel within yourself the strength of this all, that, making you embrace and invade everything, heaven, stars, sun, seas, and earth, and embrace all the acts which my fiat exercises in the whole creation, makes you bring them to your Creator as though in one breath, to give everyone and everything back to Him? Has there been anyone until now who has given and has been able to say, I give everything to God, even God Himself, because since I live in His will, God is mine, the heavens are mine, the sun and everything that this supreme fiat has done is mine. So since everything is mine, I can give everything and I can take everything. Now it happens as a consequence that one who lives in my will has the possession of the all, and this forms and draws the kingdom of the divine will upon earth, because in order to form a kingdom, it takes the strength of the power of the all. Afterwards he made himself seen as a little child, staring at me so much as to remain as though impressed within me, and he wanted me to look at him, but so much as to remain impressed in him. Then, all love and tenderness, he told me, My daughter, this is the true image of the living in my eternal will. The soul copies the divine will within herself, and the supreme will copies the soul, in such a way that your Creator keeps the copy of your image impressed within His womb. He holds her so dear because He sees her exactly as He released her from her origin. She has lost nothing of her freshness and beauty. His paternal features are impressed in this copy, and this copy, in the paternal womb of God, sings for Him the praises of all creation with all His works, and whispers continuously to His ear, You made everything for me. You love me so much, and still do, and I want to convert everything into love for you. This copy is the portent of God in His womb. She is the memory of all His works. This is the copy of the soul in God, and the copy of God in the soul, and the carrying out of the divine life within the creature. How beautiful is the kingdom of my will, the nothing dissolved in the all, and the all fused in the nothing. The lowliness of the creature rising into the divine height, and the divine height descending into the depth of the creature. They are two beings bound together, inseparable, transfused, identified, such that it can barely be recognized that they are two lives palpitating together. All the magnificence, the sanctity, the sublimeness, the prodigies of the kingdom of my will be exactly this, the faithful copy of the soul in God, and the copy of God, whole and beautiful, in the soul. Therefore the children of the kingdom of the divine fiat will be as many images of little gods in my kingdom. End of January 25th. Fiat.